In the heart of Mumbai lies an integral feature of the city, the Mahalakshmi Dhobi Ghat, where 10,000 workers wash over 1 million pieces of clothing a day, by hand, each individual standing in the soapy water near their washing stone for up to 16 hours. The term dhobi originates from the Hindi word dhob, which means washing. Dhobis operate by going door to door to pick up dirty laundry from their customers' households. After a day or two, they return the washed and often starched and ironed linens. Here in the heart of Mumbai, the Mahalakshmi Dhobi Ghat is one of the largest examples of this profession in the world, and it's finding itself at the center of a John Henry-esque story of man versus machine, unfolding in this rapidly growing city of over 18 million people. Here, in a Dhobi's own words, is a window into the daily life of a washer.
My name is Samir Mali. First of all, here 10,000 people works here. And 10,000 people, they are working for 16 hours a day. One guy's work for 16 hours. From the morning 4:30 we'll start our job till 9:30. And here charges are rated by the pieces. On one piece we are charging 3 rupees. Like on one shirt we are charging 3 rupees, and on one pant we are charging 3 rupees. So if you give your clothes to wash in the private laundry, they are working by the machine and they charge you more. But here we are working by the hands and we charge you very cheap. That is the main difference over here.
For those not familiar with the Indian rupee to dollar exchange rate, 3 rupees works out to around 6 cents per piece of clothing. I asked Samir to tell me a little more about how much it costs to own a wash space at the Dhobi Ghat.
Before the rate was like 10 to 20,000. Now by the days they are making some towers over here like outside areas. So the property is now much like expensive. So nowadays if we want to buy this one stone like one cubicle, then we have to pay at least 2 lakhs rupees.
And 2 lakhs rupees is 200,000 rupees.
200,000.
200,000 rupees.
200,000 rupees works out to be just over $4,000 to purchase a stone. That amount of money is far beyond the resources of many of the workers at the Dhobi Ghat. So I asked Samir about renting a stone.
If you give it on the rent, then you can get a monthly rent at least 3,000, 4,000 rupees.
Okay.
And if you want to then do the business, so you can make 20,000 rupees if you are doing business over here.
Okay. So your profit is 17,000 rupees.
17,000 rupees.
For working 16 hours a day, washers at the Dhobi Ghat can make a profit of about $350 per month, which doesn't sound like a lot to an American, but is a living wage in India. Now, however, machines are starting to take jobs away from the workers, leaving them fearful of the future.
So can you tell me about the machines and how they're having an effect on the area here?
See, now that the India is progressing, so they have built up some washing machine. But if the washing machine comes over here, this is a very tension for us. These guys may lose their job because the machine is working automatically by its own self. In 1 hour, it washed 80 to 100 clothes automatically. And before there was 2 workers who was working under there in one cubicle. Now the machine has come, so the workers have to leave their job. Now they are jobless because the machine is running by the boss now. Because the boss doesn't like to give salary to the guys because he wants to work on machine.
So do you think that's going to be a larger problem as this progresses? Do you think more machines are going to put more people out of jobs?
It's a very larger problem for the workers, not for the boss.
Yeah.
For the boss it's very good that they can wash their clothes in 2 hours, 3 hours. In 1 hour the machine was at least 80 clothes. So in 5 hours it can be washed like 400 clothes. But if the worker is working for 16 hours, they wash only 150 clothes, 150 pieces of clothes. But the workers who are working over here, if they work over here 16 hours a day, so they can look after their livings. And if the machines come, then these guys will be jobless. So this is not good for us.
Each machine that is put into service at the Dhobi Ghat takes away the jobs of between 9 and 10 workers. That is 9 to 10 families that now have to find another way to support themselves in a city that is growing more expensive by the month. But it is not all bad news, as there are some washing jobs that machines will never replace. Samir takes me up to a rooftop where brand new clothes are drying in rows that neatly frame the city, and explains to me that the clothing exporters in India prefer to have the pre-wash for new clothing done by hand.
This one, like this here, you are standing over here, these are the new clothes. These are coming from the garments to wash over here, like big garment, Louis Terrace, Louis London, John Phillips. So these all materials come here to wash. For the pre-washing, these clothes come here. And after the pre-washing, this one directly export to like the country like America, London, Europe. These are the brand new clothes.
So why are these companies, do they prefer that you are hand washing the clothes than over the machine wash?
Because in machine wash is very risky. If the clothes threads come out and they can't brush with the chemicals. So like this they are working by the hand wash, because the hand washing is the true washing over here. Like this. That's why all these clothes come here to wash. And the price is very cheap over here. Okay. Because they bring 1,000 to 2,000 clothes per day to wash over here.
As we descend back to the ground, Samir tells me about another aspect of the Dhobi Ghat that's not immediately apparent and could have a devastating effect on many lives if more machines are put in use by the boss. He explains to me that many of the women washers at the Dhobi Ghat are widows that are able to support their families through working part-time as a washer and the rest of the time as a mother.
And few women are also working over here. Means some women which are widows, they lost their husband. Like 40% women which are widows, they are working over here, and they have got their property belonging to them. Because the property before it was in the name of their husband, so their husband has spent now the property belonging to them. So some women also working, they are looking after their family members. But women can't work for long hours.
Right.
Like, because it's a very hard job. Because in one day they had to wash 150, 200 clothes. So they can't work for like 16 hours a day, because they had to make the cook, they had to cook the food in the house, they have to look after their children. So they are working only for 3 to 4 to 5 hours. Like this, and they earn some money and they look after their livings. And the people altogether who works over here, also they work 10 months over here. Like this is a foreign country for them. They come from the village to work over here. 10 months these people works here, and 2 months they live in the village. Because in 10 months they have got their some local bank accounts. So after 10 months they withdraw the money from the bank and they go to village. Because these are not the qualified people that they can work in a private companies. So after all they have to look after their livings. They are coming from the village to work over here. And happily they enjoy their life, and happily they enjoy their work.
One thing is for certain, with thousands of people moving to Mumbai every month to pursue the promise of a better life, there is an ever-growing supply of people who have clothes that need to be washed. And the Dhobis are by far the most economical way to get their clothes cleaned. So the Mahalakshmi Dhobi Ghat, at least for the time being, remains an integral part of this ever-expanding city.